ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्दे अहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतपथकमलं श्रीगुरुन् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणरघुनाथान्वितां तं सजीवं साधुवैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च नमो ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वते देवै गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देश तारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. So is my voice audible to everyone clearly?
Hare Krishna Babuji, Hare.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, fine. So today we will see Canto 1, Chapter 2, Verse 6. Can anyone confirm that we did 1 to 5 last time? Anyone remembers? So we'll quickly just see what it meant. So the 6 questions were asked, and then in the 5th verse, the translation states, O sages, I have been justly questioned by you. Your questions are worthy because they relate to Lord Krishna and so are of relevance to the world's welfare. Only questions of this sort are capable of completely satisfying the self. So out of all the questions in the world, if you meet a great personality, we can ask anything. But what should we ask? We should ask, so understand it this way. Let's say Krishna comes in front of us and Krishna says that, ask, what do you want from me? Now, if we ask anything from ourselves, so understand this, that as humans, we have limitation. Our thoughts are limited. Our mind is limited, right? So if we ask from our side, the ask would be limited, isn't it? Maybe we'll say that please give me $100 million trillion, right? But that's again limited. Or make me Indra, limited. Make me Lord Brahma, limited. So instead, if we ask Krishna that you give us what you can or what you want to give, right? So now that is perfect ask. Similarly here, the sages, they're asking about the real questions, not related to anything material, but spiritual. How will one be spiritually uplifted? Right? So this is the correct question to be asking to anyone. And this is how Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam begins. So let's start. 1, 2, 6. Giriraj Prabhu, can you recite this?
Yes, Babuji. Savai pumsa paro dharmo ito bhakti radoksaje ahetuki apratiyata yayatma suprasidati. Translation: The supreme occupation, dharma, for all humanity is that by which men can attain to loving devotional service unto the transcendent Lord. Such devotional service must be unmotivated and uninterrupted to completely satisfy the self.
Purport by His Divine Grace, Sri Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. In the statement, Sri Sud Goswami answers the first question of the sages of Naimisharanya. The sages asked him to summarize the whole range of revealed scriptures and present the most essential part so that fallen people or the people in general might easily take it up. The Vedas prescribe two different types of occupation for the human being. One is called the Pravritti Marg, or the path of sense enjoyment, and the other is called the Nivritti Marg, or the path of renunciation. The path of enjoyment is inferior and the path of sacrifice for the supreme cause is superior. The material existence of the living being is a diseased condition of actual life. Actual life is spiritual existence or Brahma-bhut existence where life is eternal, blissful and full of knowledge. So I heard a very beautiful statement by His Holiness Bhakti Rasamrit Maharaj. He said that we are not human beings with spiritual realization, rather we are spiritual beings with material realization. Understood? So we are not material and we are seeking spirituality. We are actually spiritual, but somehow we have come in contact with this material world and we have to discover ourselves and get back to Godhead, right? So actual life is spiritual existence or Brahma Bhut exercise where life is eternal, blissful and full of knowledge. Material existence is temporary, illusory and full of miseries. There is no happiness at all. There is just the futile attempt to get rid of the miseries, and temporary cessation of misery is falsely called happiness. Therefore, the path of progressive material enjoyment, which is temporary, miserable and illusory, is inferior. Dukh ka bhav hi sukh hai, right? So the absence of sorrow or sadness is the so-called happiness that we have. But devotional service to the Supreme Lord, which leads one to eternal, blissful and all-cognizant life, is called the superior quality of occupation. This is sometimes polluted when mixed with the inferior quality. For example, adoption of devotional service for material gain is certainly an obstruction to the progressive path of renunciation. Renunciation or abnegation for ultimate good is certainly a better occupation than enjoyment in the diseased condition of life. Like it is said that your best day in Krishna consciousness, your best day while doing bhakti or sadhana is still far better than the best day of your material life. Right? So even if we are having a bad day, we don't want to chant or someone has said something to us and we are hurt, but still we are chanting, we are carrying out our services, we are attending Mangal Aarti. In distress, still that is far million times better than the best day of our material existence. Therefore, devotional service to the Lord must be pure in quality, that is without the least desire for material enjoyment. One should therefore accept the superior quality of occupation in the form of the devotional service of the Lord without any tinge of unnecessary desire, fruitive action and philosophical speculation. This alone can lead one to perpetual solace in his service. We have purposely denoted dharma as occupation because the root meaning of the dharma is that which sustains one's existence. So dharma does not mean religion. Okay? Dharma does not mean religion. Dharma means one's activity, one's characteristic. The dharma of a Kshatriya is to protect others. The dharma of salt is that it's salty in nature. If one eats salt, it has a salty taste. The dharma of sugar is sweetness, right? So one's characteristic, one's activities is called its dharma rather than religion. Okay, so be very clear in that. A living being's sustenance of existence is to coordinate his activities with his eternal relation with the Supreme Lord Krishna. Krishna is the central pivot of living beings and he is the all-attractive living entity or eternal form amongst all other living beings or eternal forms. Each and every living being has his eternal form in the spiritual existence and Krishna is the eternal attraction for all of them. Krishna is the complete whole and everything else is his part and parcel. The relation is one of the servant and the served. It is transcendental and is completely distinct from our experience in material existence. This relation of servant and the served is the most congenial form of intimacy. So when we say servant and served, it appears that it's something negative. I have repeatedly told you that it's nothing negative. Because of our conditioning, we feel that servant is lower and the master is higher. But that's not the case in the spiritual world. In the spiritual world, everyone competes to become the best servant. And in that competition, even God is there. he is also competing. How can I serve my devotees better? So that is spiritual world. Everyone should engage himself in that transcendental loving service of the Lord, even in the present conditional state of material existence. That will gradually give one the clue to actual life and please him to complete satisfaction. So, from this verse, just remember, Sarvai Pumsam Paro Dharmo. That dharma means occupation, duty, characteristic, or action. It does not mean religion. Be very clear of this. Okay? Next verse. 1 to 7. Can anyone recite this?
Yes, Prabhuji, I can.
Mm-hmm.
Vasudeve Bhagavati Bhakti Yoga Prayojita Yatyashu Vairagyam Jnanam Cha Yadhetukam. By rendering devotional service unto the personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, one immediately acquires causeless knowledge and detachment from the world.
Those who consider devotional service to the Supreme Lord Sri Krishna to be something like material emotional affairs may argue that in the revealed scriptures, sacrifice, charity, austerity, knowledge, mystic powers, and similar other processes of transcendental realizations are recommended. According to them, bhakti or the devotional service of the Lord is meant for those who cannot perform the high-grade activities. Generally, it is said that the bhakti cult is meant for the Shudra, Vaishya, and the less intelligent woman class. But that is not the actual fact. The bhakti cult is the topmost of all transcendental activities, and therefore it is simultaneously sublime and easy. It is sublime for the pure devotees who are serious about getting in contact with the Supreme Lord, and it is easy for the neophytes who are just on the threshold of the house of bhakti. To achieve the contact of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, is a great science and it is open for all living beings, including the Shudra, Vaishya, women, and even those lower than the low-born Shudra. So what to speak of the high-class men like the qualified Brahmanas and the great self-realized kings? The other high-grade activities designated as sacrifice, charity, austerity, etc. are all corollary factors following the pure and scientific bhakti cult. Now, Vedas are mostly focused around Gyan, Karma Kand and Gyan Kand. So you do karma, work is worship, and Gyan. When Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was going around in the streets chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra, everyone knew that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is a scholar because he had defeated almost all the Mayavadis. And when he reached Kashi, he was asked that you are a sannyasi, you are so scholarly, you should be sitting with us. So the Mayavadis of Banaras, they said, you should be sitting with us. Why do you go and chant on the roads? So Mahaprabhu said, because I am a fool and my spiritual master, he said that I have no knowledge, so I should just chant this Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Standard. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is Lord Krishna himself, he is giving us this idea that don't go for karma yoga or jnana yoga, dhyana yoga. Bhakti yoga is ultimate. Because people have this misconception. Gopis are the topmost devotees of Krishna. Narad Muni in Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, he set out to understand who is the greatest. So he came across a king in the southern part of India. He goes and says that, are you the greatest? He says, not at all. Greater than me is Indra. So then he goes to Indra and says, are you the greatest devotee? He says, of course not. If I was the greatest, why would Upendra, Vamandev leave my side? So greater than me is Lord Brahma. You go to Lord Brahma. He goes to Lord Brahma. Are you the greatest? He said, no. If I were the greatest, how could I make mistakes? And I tested Krishna. So I'm not the greatest. Above me is Lord Shiva. So he goes to Lord Shiva. Same question, Lord Shiva says, no, of course not. If I were the greatest, why did I fight with Krishna for the sake of my devotee? Definitely I am not greatest. Above me is Prahlad Maharaj. You go to Prahlad Maharaj. He goes to Prahlad Maharaj. Prahlad Maharaj, are you the greatest? He said, if I were the greatest, why would I be born in a Danav, demon family? And why am I still here? So, greater than me is Hanumanji. You go to Hanumanji. Then he goes to Hanumanji. Hanumanji, are you the greatest? Hanumanji says, of course not. If I were the greatest, why did I become immortal? I should have stayed with Lord Ram forever. But then I was made immortal so that I remain in this material world. So I am not the greatest. Greater than me is Pandavas and especially Arjun. So he goes to Arjun. And the Pandavas, are you the greatest? So they say, if we were the greatest, then after this Mahabharat war, why did Krishna leave us? He left us and he goes back to Dwarka. So we are not the greatest. Above us is Uddhav. So they go to Uddhav. Uddhav, are you the greatest? Uddhav said, I thought so, until I met the gopis of Braj. And let me tell you, there is no one as great than the gopis. So then Narad Muni goes, sees the gopis. Oh gopis, are you the greatest devotees of Krishna? And they said, of course not. Meet Radharani. And then when Narad Muni meets Radharani, that's it. There is no one greater than her when it comes to serving. And she is the epitome of Bhakti Yoga. Right? So this is the story of Brihad Bhagavatamrit. So this Bhakti Yoga is not ordinary and it's difficult to understand. It's difficult because it's easy. And we are conditioned to think that unless and until things are complicated, we don't enjoy it. Right? So in the Sunday feast program, I told you the story of the judge. So when he asked Kevat that who is this Raghunathji? So what did the Kevat reply? Because you are educated, it's difficult for me to explain to you. Right? When we apply too much brain, then it's difficult to understand Krishna. Bhakti is saral, it's simple, and it is the topmost. It is coming from Shabd Praman. So that has to be taken as it is. Okay? Moving on. The principles of knowledge and detachment are two important factors on the path of transcendental realization. The whole spiritual process leads to perfect knowledge of everything, material and spiritual. And the results of such perfect knowledge are that one becomes detached from material affection and becomes attached to spiritual activities. Becoming detached from material things does not mean becoming inert altogether, as men with a poor fund of knowledge think. Sab moh maya hai, right? It is a very common thing again amongst the materialist, the karmis. Sab moh maya hai is an excuse to become lazy. That we will not do anything because everything is an illusion. So this is not the meaning. Inert means that not doing anything, just laying down. That is not the meaning of being detached from this material world. Yoga or bhakti is loving devotional service. It is always service. We can never sit idle. We have to always perform something. Chanting, reading, hearing, discussing scriptures, cooking feast for Thakurji, Mangal Arti, whatever it could be, singing, dancing, it's all activities. So that is bhakti. Just sitting is not bhakti. Okay. Nishkarma means not undertaking activities that will produce good or bad effects. Negation does not mean negation of the positive. Negation of the non-essentials does not mean negation of the essential. Similarly, detachment from material forms does not mean nullifying the positive form. The bhakti cult is meant for realization of the positive form. When the positive form is realized, the negative forms are automatically eliminated. For instance, someone is I'll tell my story. It was very difficult for me to give up listening to mundane music. I could listen to music at least 5 to 8 hours at stretch. When I was in my school, in my college, I always have been in hostels. So whole night from 8 o'clock we had dinner, 8:30 to morning 5. I would just walk like a ghost and I had a Walkman and I would just hear to the songs. And it was extremely difficult for me to get rid of this habit. until I came across a lecture of Bhakti Rasamrit Maharaj, and he said that Jagannath does not like when someone hears mundane music. So in one of the pastimes, he told the guard of his temple in Jagannath Puri that one of the seva I give you is that people come here to my temple and then they just play mundane music. I don't like that. So it's your responsibility to drive those people away from my temple. And when I heard that, then I made a pact that, okay, fine, let me try. So then initially it was difficult, but then it was about that 30 days I'm not going to listen to any Bollywood, Hollywood or any music. I will just try to listen whatever devotional, whatever I can find on YouTube, I will listen to any. So I have heard almost all the languages that I don't understand. The languages from the southern part of India, the classical Indian bhajans and everything. And slowly and slowly and slowly and slowly, I started getting taste in those things. Then I understood that, okay, yeah, this is also very soothing to my ears. So it was difficult, but slowly because I got this higher taste, that is why I was able to give up the lower taste. So this is what this particular section means, that you don't have to, you just have to hold on to something better and automatically you will be able to leave. For instance, I understand that quitting onion and garlic is something difficult because we have been raised eating onion and garlic, right? And it was difficult even for me. I also used to think how it's going to be possible. But slowly and slowly, when I started cooking and I started offering to my deities, then I understood that it was a miracle actually. It was a miracle because I could not cook so well and it tasted so good. So I was 100% convinced that Thakurji accepts my bhog. Because there was no way, sometimes there was no way I could cook that tasty food. So it gave me hope that yes, it is like ye yatha ma prapadante tam sathaiva bhajamyam. He is reciprocating with me. He wants me to take up this good habit. And then I developed this taste and now I cannot even think about onion and garlic. And I think same must be the case with most of you on this call, right? So if we hold on to something more, Krishna is there to help you. Something more better, then we will automatically leave something that is not of that standard. Okay? So similarly, the bhaktikal, being the supermost occupation of the living being, leads him out of material sense enjoyment. That is the sign of a pure devotee. He is not a fool, nor is he engaged in the inferior energies, nor does he have material values. This is not possible by dry reasoning. It actually happens by the grace of the Almighty. In conclusion, one who is a pure devotee has all other good qualities, namely knowledge, detachment, etc. But one who has only knowledge or detachment is not necessarily well acquainted with the principles of the bhakti cult. Bhakti is the supermost occupation of the human being. So how to understand this? If you have $100 or 100 euros note, so that 100 euro note already contains 10 euro note, 20 euro note, 50 euro note, right? So Bhakti Yoga by default has Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga and Dhyana Yoga. So if we just hold on to this Bhakti Yoga, we have covered almost everything. If we are chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. It means we have done all the necessary sacrifices in our past lives. All the Gayatris, all these Stotra, everything has been done by us. That is why we have come to the platform. Because if I tell you to chant 16 rounds from tomorrow, you won't be able to chant those 16 rounds. You will still say, I want to recite Hanuman Chalisa, I want to recite this stotra, I want to recite that stotra, right? That means you have a chance now. Either you can listen to Prabhupada because he has given us this instruction, you can listen to Mahaprabhu, or you can just go about your way, complete your Vedic duties, and then probably next life or lifetime after next life, you can come to the stage of chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra. But if you are already here and someone is guiding you, do that. So just close your eyes and do that, because this is the best advice that I ever took from my counselor. He said that don't worry about anything. Just believe. Just believe. Even if you are not convinced, you start doing 16 rounds. You start doing that. And within, I think when I joined in Ram Navami, on Ram Navami, 2009. That was the first day I set my foot in ISKCON. And Diwali Diwali was in October. So the Ram Navami was somewhere around, I think, April. Diwali was October. So probably, I don't know, calculate 5, 6, 7 months maybe. And on Diwali, I did my first 16 rounds. And after that, I just started doing 16 rounds. Because I said that fine, I don't have conviction yet, but my counselor, he has been within this uh, environment for more than 20-25 years. So he must have experienced something. And if he's so convinced that you just do this, no matter what, let me at least give a try. At most I will fail, but it's not that I'm missing out on anything. He's just saying that you chant. That's all. And I just did that, and now I can say the same thing to everyone, that if you have come to this platform, just give it your best shot and leave it on Krishna. Let him decide if he wants you to continue those 16 rounds, or if you say that no, fine, I will go my old way, and then probably after 50 years I will come back to Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Okay? Next. So I saw someone's hand raised up. We will take the question at the end. 128. Yes, who can recite this?
I can recite, Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhu, go ahead.
धर्मसनिष्ठतपुषाम् विश्वेशेन कथास्तुया नोत्पदायति धीरतम् रमा एव केवलम्.
Shrama eva hi kevalam. It's very popular verses. Yeah, go ahead.
The occupational activities a man performs according to his own position are only so much useless labor if they do not provoke attraction for the message of the personality of the Godhead.
It's very simple and clear-cut example, because when we study Bhagavad Gita, initially, everyone asks me this question that, okay, Krishna says that do karma for him, but what is that karma? What are we supposed to do? So here, any activity that does not concern Krishna is Shram eva hi kevalam. Shram means hard labor, like a donkey does. Eva. Shram eva hi kevalam. It is only hard labor. That's it. Nothing else. Because it does not take you out of this bondage of birth, death, old age, and disease. If you do anything other than doing work for Krishna, then you will always be trapped in this matrix, in this Mayajal. One can never get out. Okay? Let's see the purport. There are different occupational activities in terms of man's different conceptions of life. To the gross materialist who cannot see anything beyond the gross material body, there is nothing beyond the senses. Therefore, his occupational activities are limited to concentrated and extended selfishness. Concentrated selfishness centers around the personal body. This is generally seen amongst the lower animals. Extended selfishness is manifested in human society and centers around the family, society, community, nation, and world with a view to gross bodily comfort. Right? So an animal would only think about him, his food, that's it. He does not care about future planning, and they are not investing in stock market or what's happening on the news, who is traveling, which prime minister is allying or is an enemy. So they are not concerned with those things. So it's concentrated selfishness. But with the humans, it's extended selfishness. They care about all these things as well. So above these gross materialists are the mental speculators who hover aloft in the mental spheres, and their occupational duties involve making poetry and philosophy or propagating some ism with the same aim of selfishness limited to the body and the mind. So ism means nationalism, philanthropism, and all those things. Ism. These are all just to satisfy their senses. But above the body and mind, is the dormant spirit soul whose absence from the body makes the whole range of bodily and mental selfishness completely null and void. So this ism, whatever it is, that is to satisfy our mind, isn't it? That's why one is doing. Even if it's being done selflessly, still, why are you doing that? Because it could be to get recognition or for your country or for the poor people, whatever it is. But again, that is not getting you, your country members, or those poor out of this conception of birth and death. So still you are on this material platform, right? Because foolish people have no information of the soul and how it is beyond the purview of the body and mind, they are not satisfied in the performance of their occupational duties. The question of the satisfaction of the self is raised herein. The self is beyond the gross body and subtle mind. He is the potent active principle of the body and mind. Without knowing the need of the dormant soul, one cannot be happy simply with emolument of the body and mind. The body and the mind are but superfluous outer coverings of the spirit soul. The spirit soul's needs must be fulfilled. Simply by cleansing the cage of the bird, one does not satisfy the bird. One must actually know the needs of the bird himself, right? So this we have covered in Bhagavad Gita, the basics, that we are made of 3 different bodies. The outer layer is the Panchatattva, earth, air, water, fire, ether, the Pancha Mahabhut. Then we have the subtle body, mind, intelligence, and false ego. And then the real us, the spiritual body, that is soul and super soul. So if we just take care of the first 2, that is the outer covering, our appearance, and how we look, and we go to the gym, and we go do yoga, wake up in the morning and go out for a run. It's not wrong to do that, but only doing that is wrong. Okay. Then is the subtle body. Now subtle body is that you step up a ladder. Now you think of your image conscious, right? Your ego is hurt when someone says something, or when you get to know that, okay, I am not very fair like the other person, or I'm not good looking, or I'm not very tall, or I'm very short, this, that, blah and blah. So these are all on the subtle platform. And then comes the real you, that is soul. So if you don't give food to the soul and you only feed your mind, intelligence, false ego, and your gross body, then you are a fool, right? The need of the spirit soul is that he wants to get out of the limited sphere of material bondage and fulfill his desire for complete freedom. He wants to get out of the covered walls of the greater universe. He wants to see the free light and the spirit. That complete freedom is achieved when he meets the complete spirit, the personality of Godhead. Right? So it's like a puzzle. Until we fit all the parts, the picture won't be completed. Right? So until we are centered around Krishna, our puzzle will never be solved. We would just be as a child, he tries to fix that puzzle, right? So he's not able to get it right. He's trying all the possibilities. So similarly, we are trying to find happiness everywhere. We are trying to find happiness in a beautiful girl or a handsome boy, in money, in our job, in traveling. We are thinking that if I settle in Switzerland, maybe that will give me happiness. So we are trying all the pieces, but it's not working. And we have been trying that for millions and trillions and God knows how many unlimited lifetimes. Because we are missing that one piece, and that is Krishna. Unless we get to that piece, our puzzle will never get completed and we will never find what we are looking for. So the soul naturally wants to be with the super soul. This is natural. A child would naturally want to be with their mother, isn't it? No matter you take them to a ice cream parlor or a shop, baby shop, whatever, they will be there for some time. But after some time, they will try to find their mother, isn't it? So same is our case. So when we are trying to find happiness, we are actually looking for Krishna. But Maya is covering us in such a way that we feel that we are seeking happiness in material objects. But no, we actually are running after Krishna, but we don't even know that. And that is why we are never satisfied. But now that we have come to this platform, you just patiently keep on doing your sadhana. Things will get revealed. Divyagyan Hriday Prakashito. It is true. You will achieve that happiness one day, definitely. Could be 2 years, 5 years, 10, 20, 50. But it is guaranteed. One day you will understand how Krishna is with you every walk of your life and how you are interacting and how this is it. This is all that we need. Okay. So that complete freedom is achieved when he meets the complete spirit, the personality of Godhead. There is a dormant affection for God within everyone. Understood? What does dormant mean? Dormant means it is there, but it is in a inactive state, in a sleeping. We have forgotten. Let's say I got 1,000 euros. I kept it somewhere and I completely forgot about that. So that is dormant, meaning that we love Krishna. All of us love Krishna because originally we were with Krishna. Now that affection is in a dormant sleeping state and we have to awake that. That is why it says discover yourself. Discover, because you already exist. You just need to discover who you are. You are a spirit, soul, and you belong to Krishna. So there is a dormant affection for God within everyone. Spiritual existence is manifested through the gross body and mind in the form of perverted affection for gross and subtle matter. Therefore, we have to engage ourselves in occupational engagements that will evoke our divine consciousness. Now, a very important point. We have been gifted this human body. Human body is a gift because bhakti can only be done via this human body, right? A tiger cannot cook Sunday feast. A tiger cannot offer bhog to Krishna, right? A monkey cannot read Bhagavad Gita, isn't it? Or a cat cannot do kirtan, but a human can. So it's a very rare, very bade bhag manus tan pava, sur nar muni sab santan gava. That one who is extremely fortunate gets this manushya form, human form of life. So therefore we have to engage ourselves in occupational engagements that will evoke our divine consciousness. Occupational means that we have to work for Krishna, whatever we do. This is possible only by hearing and chanting the divine activities of the Supreme Lord. And any occupational activity which does not help one to achieve attachment for hearing and chanting the transcendental message of the God is said herein to be simply a waste of time. I think by now it must be clear why. Because anything you do, however attractive or appealing it must feel like, that person XYZ is feeding 10,000 people every day. They are spending 1 crore every month and they are feeding so many people and it appears very attractive. And yes, that is good work, no doubt, and one must do that work. But what is the guarantee that you will get out of this material world? There is no guarantee. That will only take you a step up the ladder, only one step ahead. But now you are already here. You are on that final game, right? In the snake ladder game, you are on number 98. If you are here, 99, there is a snake that will bite you and directly take you to square one. We need 2 points, Guru and Krishna, both mercy. Once we get these two, we will go to 100, that is home, back to Godhead. Okay, so this is our life. This is the game of snake and ladder. So this is because other occupational duties, whatever ism they may belong to, cannot give liberation to the soul. Even the activities of the salvationists are considered to be useless because of their failure to pick up the fountainhead of all liberties. The gross materialist can practically see that his material gain is limited only to time and space, either in this world or in the other. Even if he goes up to the Swargalok, he will find no permanent abode for his hankering soul. the hankering soul must be satisfied by the perfect scientific process of perfect devotional service. So even in Swargalok, that is the end goal of the Vedas, you will not find happiness. You will only find happiness when you go back to Krishna, our original form. Okay. Shall we take this one? Okay, let's take this one. 1.2.9. Who will recite this?
You can recite, Prabhu.
Okay, Prabhu.
Dharmasya pavargayasya narto arthayopakalpate nartasya dharmaikantasya kamo labhaya hi smrita. Translation: all occupational engagements are certainly meant for ultimate liberation. They should never be performed for material gain. Furthermore, according to sages, one who is engaged in the ultimate occupational service should never use material gain to cultivate sense gratification.
We have already discussed that pure devotional service to the Lord is automatically followed by perfect knowledge and detachment from material existence. But there are others who consider that all kinds of different occupational engagements, including those of religion, are meant for material gain. The general tendency of any ordinary man in any part of the world is to gain some material profit in exchange for religious or any other occupational service. Right? So this is the misfortune of this world. Earlier, there was no fees for anything. Everything was free. There was this Gurukul system. So like now, you have a designated fee that 10,000 euros for your masters or 15,000, whatever the rate is. But in earlier days, you go to a Gurukul, you study for free, then in the end, you give dakshina to your guru. So this was the custom back. But now things have changed. So no one should think that you have to have any material gain. But now you see that people, they ask for charity and donation. Why? And that is important actually. So don't confuse these two things. So when someone says that by book distribution, we are raising funds or we are doing Sunday feast and all these things, so that the devotees or the like-minded people who are aspiring for these spiritual conversations, they get a platform, isn't it? Because if there will be no temple, how will you get a platform to come and worship? Who will preach? How will the preaching movement go on? So for that purpose, if you are raising funds, there is absolutely nothing wrong in that. But if you are raising fund for yourself, to support your lifestyle, to maintain a higher luxurious lifestyle, then that is completely wrong. So that should not be done. If I become a kathakar, let's say, I do katha, I preach, and then I start taking charity and donation, and then I build a mansion for myself, that is wrong. If I get the charity, I don't ask for. If someone gives me and I use that for the construction of Krishna temple, then that is fine because many people would benefit with that. Okay, so just this is a subtle difference and we have to understand that difference. So even in the Vedic literatures, for all sort of religious performances, an allurement of material gain is offered. And most people are attracted by such allurements or blessings of religiosity. That if you do this, you get this. 16 Somvar ka vrat karo, you will get a beautiful wife or a beautiful husband, right? So it's always a give and take relationship. It's business, mostly in the Vedas. But bhakti is not a business. Bhakti is selfless surrender. So why are such so-called men or religion allured by material gain? Because material gain can enable one to fulfill desires, which in turn satisfy sense gratification. The cycle of occupational engagements includes so-called religiosity followed by material gain and material gain followed by fulfillment of desires. Sense gratification is the general way for all sorts of fully occupied men. But in the statement of Sut Goswami, as per the verdict of the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, this is nullified by the present shlok. One should not engage himself in any sort of occupational service for material gain only. Nor should material gain be utilized for sense gratification. how material gain should be utilized is described as follows. Okay, so we will now take these verses in our next session. I will open the floor for question and answers now. I saw a hand raised up. Yes, Jyoti Mataji.
हरे कृष्णा प्रभु जी जैसे कि
हरे
अभी
कृष्णा।
हम लोग बात कर रहे हैं इंग्लिश बोलो या हिंदी बोलो
English because we have Litka Mataji.
okay so now we don't eat onion garlic but if like our friends are there like we used to go to their home before coming to Krishna consciousness we used to eat onion garlic but we were pure vegetarian but nowadays I stopped going to anyone's house because I don't feel like eating outside like now not in restaurants not in the house for people who eat non-veg. So it comes from my heart. Okay, I should not eat that because they eat non-veg because all the patra, all the burtan, all the vessels, all the utensils will be used for non-veg. But if they invite you, okay, come for a dinner, we will have fun and please come for a Friday dinner. Like just now I received the call and they are not Hindu, they are Muslims. Like, you know, our friends are Muslims also. So,
Right.
so in that situation, we can't say no because we have a good relationship. But they taunt me indirectly like, oh, now you are so spiritual and now you stop eating onions and not, that's the reason you're not coming to our house and I want you to come to my house. So I don't know how to say no to them because I know if I'll say no, they will get to know, okay, because she is thinking I'm not, because you are totally into this Krishna consciousness or spirituality or bhakti. That's why I have left their home. I'm not going to their house for anything. So I don't know how to say no. I said, okay, I will come Friday. But I don't know how to say no because I'm sure that I'm not going to eat anything there.
Yeah, so you go, but you don't eat. You have your principles. I'll tell you. So if we have to learn actually from them, the Muslims, they are very rigid when it comes to their faith.
Yeah.
Right? They will follow no matter what. So why should you step down? Isn't it? It's not a competition. I'm saying this as a good thing actually. That you take this thing from them. That never compromise on your principles. Now, this does not mean becoming harsh. For instance, if you have in-laws and they eat onion and garlic, so it's fine. Then you can eat or you can cook for them. Absolutely no. And even if they say if you are not Dikshit, you can eat. Absolutely fine. Okay, because you are married to a certain family, you have your dharma towards your in-laws and your extended family. But when it comes to friend, so even I was in the same boat, but now, so when I put my status, okay, whatever I do, that status is for my family to know that abhi ye haath se gaya. So that now they know that he has become a Babaji, so don't bother him anymore. Right? So
But
all my
they
friends
know
also know.
I have changed my lifestyle. I'm not going for party or dinner, anything. They know this thing. But intentionally they want me to call and see which will she eat here or not. Just
No, so don't
I
eat.
know.
Don't eat.
But she
Because
was forcing me literally. I will cook something without onion, garlic. Don't worry. I'll not use same.
so you ask them that if you will cook, then please get a vessel for me, a new vessel in which you have not cooked meat. So if you can do this, then no worries. Because you are not taken initiation yet, so you have that liberty. But after initiation, you cannot do that. Okay.
Yeah.
So if out of love or respect they are calling, that's fine. But if they are calling to mock you or challenge you just to know how much you can compromise, then just Krishna will make those people away from your life. Naturally, you would not have to say anything. Initially, there would be some jerks, but jerk as in that there will be ups and downs. But then in the future, they will just understand, and then you will just be in the association of the devotees. I'm telling with experience.
Yeah. But they are good friend of my husband, so.
So no problem. I also have many good friends, and they invite me even today, and they invite me for kirtan. That you promised that you will come to do kirtan, but I know that they eat non-veg. So I just say I'm busy, and I'm actually busy. All the weekends are booked. So I have just told them it's been 2 years now, and they see my status and they say, when are you coming to our house to do kirtan? But I can't help because I know I might go someday, but I will then ask them that we will bring the food for you. That's it. So until then, just keep on saying something or the other. Let them understand that yes, she does not want. And see, our only friend is Krishna Mataji.
Yes.
These friends will not be after you die. They are not your friends after you die, isn't it? That does not mean we will disrespect them or won't help them. When in need, we will help them. But yeah, we will only associate with the devotees. Devotees are our friend. Krishna is our friend.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like Prabhuji, I have similar doubt like Mataji had. If someone is inviting us or offering us food with pure intention, and they didn't use anything like onion garlic or even basic things that you usually cook. But obviously, like they used to eat many things, everything almost. So in this situation, if someone is saying like with pure intention, like they want to just feed us, it's not a thing.
I'll give you an answer, Prabhu. Okay, I'll give you an answer. So we have to be like, I think, are Marwadi people money-minded? Is this something wrong to say? Because I don't know. I don't want to stereotype or don't want to be like a taboo. But let's say that there is a sect of people. Okay, let's not say Marwadi, any sect, who are always thinking about how to save money or how to earn more money or how to get money, right? So this should be our goal, Prabhuji, when we are in Krishna consciousness. That how can I help the other person to become Krishna conscious? Now, for instance, if I know that my friend has a particular faith and they are never changing that faith, they are very rigid. Okay, then don't even bother. But if you feel that someone has the potential, right? Someone has the potential. So if you behave very humbly with them, I'm not saying artificial behavior, your natural behavior. For instance, you know that they have pure intentions. As a friend, if you go and you are with them and you tell them about Krishna consciousness, maybe one day they will become a devotee, or you go to their place and then you invite them to your place or you invite them to temple, right? Now, because you have a good relationship, they will definitely come to the temple. And when they eat prasadam, definitely slowly and slowly they will become Krishna conscious. So the whole point about that thing is that someone who is money minded, they see money everywhere. Similarly, a Krishna conscious person will see how to make others Krishna conscious anytime. Okay, so we have to think that way, Prabhu. Whenever we go, wherever we go, whoever we meet, how can we help this person to become Krishna conscious? Irrespective of who they are, what their religion. We are not asking them to change their religion. If you are Christian, you remain Christian for your life. But you chant, you eat Krishna Prasadam, you have a healthy Vedic lifestyle. You remain Muslim, you remain Jew, you remain even Hindu. No need to become a Vaishnav. But you just follow these things so that you progress spiritually in your life. Okay, Prabhu? So I'll tell you another.
I'm asking like same question. Mataji said, if I visit to my friend or my friend just brings something for me, he knew like I don't eat even onion and garlic, and they prepare food like this, but they are obviously using they are cooking everything, maybe non-veg or onion and garlic in that vessel, but their intention is pure. Like they just specially cooked this food for me without any onion and garlic, and they just bought. So in this situation, obviously, it is for me as well. It is difficult to eat something in which utensils you use for non-veg.
Yeah. So you have to tell them, Prabhuji, that I cannot do this. You have to tell them then. Okay? Yeah. No compromise there. If someone is a vegetarian, okay, then there is no problem. If they cook onion and garlic, unless you are initiated, it's fine. But if they are cooking in a vessel that has been cooked, the meat has been cooked, then you just say no, simply. Okay? Once Prabhupada went to someone's house and they had called, I've told this story before, and there were many disciples with Prabhupada, and the receiving person, he was very respectful towards Prabhupada. He called, he did not know that the ISKCON people don't eat onion and garlic, and he made vegetarian food with onion and garlic. and then he presented in front of Prabhupada. And now all the disciples, everyone is looking at Prabhupada. What should we do? Prabhupada knew that the intention is pure of this person. So Prabhupada said, don't worry, you eat. I will make sure that you don't get sin. So that is Prabhupada. Prabhupada could do that. We don't have that caliber. We are not guru. But yeah, we have to understand that if someone's intention is pure, it's fine. But yeah, meat, non-tolerable. You have to say no on face. There are some things we cannot tolerate. Veg is still fine. Okay?
Okay, I usually avoid it to be very honest,
best is avoid. Best is avoid. Best is, Prabhu, you be so busy that you don't have time to go in anyone's house. You have so much seva, we have so much to do, right? There is kirtan going on every evening, then we have classes, then we have Mangal Aarti, we have our chanting 16 rounds, we have feast, we have programs, we have festivals, there is so much to do. So rather than we going to their house, you call them to temple or you call them to the house programs, right? Instead, you call them. And if you call them once and twice, they will come to know that this is their taste and we should not bother them anymore. Okay?
Okay, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Yeah, very good. Yes, Rishikesh Prabhu?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhu, actually, I wanted to know how do we have devotees association if there is no devotees nearby?
Yours is a peculiar one, Prabhuji. So, like I told you, we'll have a separate call because now it's your responsibility to build a devotee base in the place you are. Okay? Because we tried, there is no temple near your place, right?
Yes.
So, slowly you have to go and you have to meet favorable people who are at least vegetarian or who are inclined towards scriptures. You can then have discussions, book reading. You can invite them to your place. You can have book readings and you can cook food for them, or you can join them to the classes here online. And slowly you can build a devotee base, Prabhu. That's all that you can do. Or if you have the courage to do things alone, then do that. Do good sadhana, do chant your rounds, and slowly you will see that Krishna will help you.
Okay.
Yeah. So you have to start doing, Prabhu.
Yes.
In your case.
Yes. Prabhu, actually, that is the only problem, that I'm not having any devotees association here, and that is the only reason why like I'm not able to follow the discipline. And
yeah, I understand. But Prabhuji, it said na that be the change you want, right? So first you have to start with yourself, and then definitely, Prabhuji, 100% Krishna will send devotees. I am convinced of that point. Starting May, there will be a bit of struggle, but once he sees your dedication, I'm not asking you to straight away chant 16 rounds. If you are chanting 2 rounds, you be constant with those 2 rounds for the next 1 month at least, right? So if you just chant 2 rounds or 4 rounds or whatever the number of rounds you are chanting, just do that and try to offer whatever you eat, cook without onion and garlic. Just small, very, very small things, Prabhuji. Because Krishna is our parent, right? He sees that if a child needs something, the parents provide. And you genuinely, I know you from, I think, probably months now, and you have been hankering for devotee association. And so did I. When I came here, I was in the same boat. Though there was a temple and everything, but there was no devotee association. There was hardly anyone I could associate with. So whatever I'm telling you, I did it myself. I just prayed and chanted sincerely for 2 years, and then I got all of you, right? So this will happen.
Okay. No, also I have one more question. Excuse me. Since the people who are actually living with me, I mean, like, not in the, like, who live nearby me, they have observing one thing in me, that I generally follow Amrendra Prabhu's lecture, Amrendra Prabhu's preaching, and the videos which are available on YouTube. So when it comes to, I mean, like, I do 2 things. I also sometimes learn Jyotish from Amit Prabhu as well. So, so Prabhu, I am actually able to give scientific like evidences or things with regards to Jyotish Shastra to these people, but I'm not able to explain them about the spiritual side of the
Aspect.
things. So, I mean, like, I can give scientific relation with regards to Jyotish, but not anything or any scientific references with regards to the spiritual text or Vedic text, like
Right.
Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam or Bhagavad Gita.
Right.
Can you shed some light on that?
Yeah, so it's because, Prabhuji, mathematics is simple. 1 + 1 = 2. Simple. You can convince anyone of this fact that 2 × 3 is 6, right? So there is no difficulty if you have understood the logic behind it. So you know a bit of astrology and you can make sense of that. But spirituality is something that needs to be absorbed. Okay? For instance, philosophy. So philosophy is not straightforward. You can only make someone understand if you yourself have understood that. Okay? And the key to understanding is sincerity. If you sincerely read just one verse a day, one shlok, so that means you are associating with Prabhupada personally. And when he will give you his mercy, then everything, Prabhuji, everything will come as it is. This is the power of Prabhupada, Prabhuji. Okay, so that is the reason you are not able to explain spiritual aspect, because this is something we need to absorb, and it's going to take time. You must have read the scriptures at least once or twice. At least I'm saying. There is no limit to it. But at least once or twice. So I'll recommend, Prabhuji, that there are small books online. So you go to Vedabase, I will share the link again. You have small books like Law of Karma, Science of Self-Realization, On the Way to Krishna. Trust me, Prabhu, if you just read these are so logical, small books that you will enjoy, because all the things that we need to know, Prabhupada has just taken from the scriptures and written down in those small books. So my recommendation is you start reading those small books. You will come and tell me, Prabhuji, after 1 month's time that I have made 5 devotees here just by reading those books. Okay, so you start with those. Yeah, I will share the link with you, or if you know, just go to vedabase.I, I think .I or whatever in France it is. Go to Vedabase, and then you just go to the short books, small books, and start with, I would say, On the Way to Krishna, then Law of Karma, Beyond Birth and Death, Science of Self-Realization. All these are small books. So you just take and you go in that sequence and read those books. Okay?
Okay, bro.
Yeah.
Prabhu,
And whatever problems you have, you come to me. Yes, Amit Prabhu, yeah.
Just to add one more thing, like, yes, it is true, like the books you're suggesting, they are the best to begin with, actually. That is how we should actually begin our bhakti, to understand the basic things. But also I have, in my personal experience, Chaitanya Charan Prabhu gives very scientific explanation to all aspects of bhakti. His lectures, if you listen properly, he will give you like very scientific and even related to medical, related to astronomy, and related to physics and all. He brings in all the concepts and he connects them with spirituality very nicely. So I think
know.
his lectures are also.
But the thing is, I'll tell you something. When you have to preach, okay, when you have to preach initially, then you will have to read, because reading will increase your confidence while you speak. Now, what happens is that when you hear lectures, so lectures is when you have advanced, okay. And now when I have to go and speak in a Sunday feast, then I listen to various lectures. Why? Because the basis is clear. The basics is very clear now because I have read the books. Now when I hear the lectures, I can connect the dots between Ramayana, Chaitanya Charitamrita, and anyone ask me from anywhere, I can be able to at least give him a direction, if not answer properly. So initially read the books, and slowly as you progress, then I will tell you, yes, of course, Chaitanya Charan Prabhu is there, then Gauranga Prabhu is there. You listen to his lectures. Amrendra Prabhu is completely on Bhav state. So when you then hear these lectures, then you will be able to connect and your confidence will boost, because now you have read and you are realizing it through the lips of a speaker, of a Vaishnav. So then it's double benefit for you. Okay, so reading is important initially.
Okay, Prabhu.
Yeah. Hariva.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Prabhuji, good Prabhu.
Prabhuji, in France there are two temples. One is the farm and one is the temple, I think so, somewhere.
No, but the place he lives is, I think, 2 or 3 hours from both the temples. We have worked that out actually.
No, Prabhu, actually it's 6 hours away. I live in
6
Nice.
hours. Hmm.
Hmm.
So I tried to connect him, but it's far.
Yes,
But-
one is Lyon and second is the Paris. That's what I know.
Yeah. So maybe, I don't know, if it's connected via road, sometime you can go to either of these two temples, meet anyone, and at least online be connected to them to see if they are trying to come up with a base or something, a center maybe near your place, near Nice, so that you are updated, right? I will
Yes.
still find out, but yeah, if possible.
Yes. Prabhu, actually I'm in the group of New Mayapur, the New Mayapur's group, WhatsApp
Okay.
group. But
Yeah.
like it is like I had to literally reach them out personally because it is a group in which you can. It is just a broadcast group, so you cannot send a message to people.
Questions.
Yes. Like so, I literally like send them a private message to almost a lot of people, but some of them were from India, some of them were from Paris, but and I couldn't find any person who was from the area where I live in. I only found one lady, but she also got shifted to another place somewhere near to Lyon. That's it.
Okay. No, we will. I mean, I have told so many devotees about you, and if someone comes to know about anyone, they will definitely inform me, and I will let you know, Prabhu.
Okay, Prabhu. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Haribol. Yes. Saman Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, since we were on the topic of, eating at friend's place or, someone inviting you or whatever, am I right in saying or am I wrong in saying that if we are fasting, we should not eat outside? Like,
If you are fasting,
you not eat in the sense, like we go to someone's house, like neighbors, they are doing some puja part, but I'm fasting that day. Okay, so we went there, we prayed. But when you are coming, sometimes they offer you water. So am I right in saying we shouldn't be, even drinking water or taking anything?
I don't think there's something like that. It's ideal if you have taken a certain vow that you don't eat or drink. But if someone offers water or something like that, then it's so. So bhav matters actually, Mataji. The bhav, as I said, that if you don't eat or drink, okay, and if they are offended, then you are missing on a chance to preach someone, right? So when you make someone a devotee, Krishna will already take care of your sin. That does not mean that voluntarily we'll do sins, but yes, sometimes there is this gray window where you have to take a call. So I don't think drinking water should have a problem, provided it's a vegetarian house again. So be very strict. I'm very strict with this rule that no non-vegetarian or meat eating vessels should be used for us, right? But yeah, if it's a vegetarian house, then yeah, definitely I don't think there's any problem with drinking water or taking fruits. But yeah, if you have taken this vow, like I know one devotee in our group, and hats off to him, he's quite new, but every Ekadashi he never eats. And I am sitting there because I cannot take this. I want not to eat, but then so much energy is invested in kirtan and everything, and then I go on to eating. But then I applaud him that he still does not eat. So if you can be like that, so strict, then it's good. But if not, then I think it's fine, Mataji. No problem there.
Okay, Prabhuji.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, Chaitanya Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhuji, you were mentioning about the miser people that are even collecting money. So I remembered a shloka. So can I share?
Yes,
So
please. Yeah.
it's from Rupa Goswami Padyavali. So it goes something like this. Vichayani vicharyani vichintyani puna puna kripanasya dhanineva tvannamani bhavantuna. So it means roughly like, so
vichayani, vicharyani, vichintyani. So a miser person collects money and then counts money and then thinks about how much money they have. So similarly, we should collect, count and think about collecting the holy names. So vichayani, vicharyani, vichintyani puna puna kripanasya dhanineva tvannamani bhavantuna. So tvannamani bhavantuna. So similarly, O Lord, may I collect your holy names.
Yeah, exactly. So it's something actually. I'm scared because the 6 name offenses that do not misinterpret, but sometimes for my motivation, for my personal motivation, you know how we saw, if you have seen Harry Potter movie, right? So then when Harry Potter goes to the bank, then he gets to know that his parents have left him a fortune, right? So similarly, I also think that our fortune actually is this holy name. So if we have to travel to the higher abodes, so when I say higher abodes, I'm saying of abodes higher than Swargalok, the abodes where we will do bhakti. For instance, Brahmalok, Janalok, Maharlok, Tapalok. There they do bhakti, and then when Lord Brahma's Ayu is finished, they go back to Vaikuntha planets. So if in case we miss out on this chance of going back to Godhead because of the anarthas, then we have to have this lolupta, this greediness, that let me earn so much money in terms of holy name. Let me chant so much holy name that we can go to those abodes after we die. So this is something that motivates me, and then I count that, okay, starting from Kartik, and in December, then I must have chanted at least 1 million, 10 million, 50 million, whatever names it is. So it's very important, as Prabhuji pointed, that we must actually count like that greedy person, a businessman, how much money you want, what is your end goal, so that even if something goes here and there, you have a safe deposit, that at least you reach to that planet and then you think about it later, right? So this is our chance. Don't miss on that chance. 16 is, minimum, it's not maximum. Don't stop at 16. If you are 25 years old, you chant 25 rounds. Next year, you chant 26 rounds. If you are 30-year-old, you chant 30 rounds every day. If you have the time, capacity, then. If not, then 16 is fine. Just 16 rounds, okay? So yeah, something that keeps me motivated. You can have your own thing. If something keeps you motivated, so you just make that thing out, draw that thing in your mind, and you just work toward. But we need a goal. If we don't have a goal, either materially or spiritually, we are just passing time. That's it. We are not going anywhere. We must have an end goal. So have that goal. Okay. Fine. So do we have another? Suman Mataji, do you have another question, or is it hand raised by mistake?
Sorry, Prabhuji, it's by mistake.
Okay, no problem. Litka Mataji, do you want to say something, or do you have a question? Because you are unmute. Okay.
No, sorry, I just accidentally pressed it.
Okay, no problem. Fine. So next we might meet tomorrow for Bhagavad Gita class. Thanks for joining, everyone. Hare Krishna.